Hey everybody, thanks for checking out Nomad Domes and helping us with our first project. Together we are going to take a planetarium system to Kenya. Now, some of you might not know what a planetarium system is, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. A planetarium is usually a dome. In our case, it is going to be an inflatable dome so that we can take it anywhere we want to go. People sit inside the dome and projected on the dome. There's a projection system, computer, projector, fisheye lens. Projected on the dome are images. Now they can be movies. There are movies made for this fully immersive theater. Everywhere you look around you, there's something to see on the dome. There's also a software program called Nightshade that we run, and that allows us to simulate the night sky. So we can put up the stars any time of day, any time of night, any place on the planet. We can even, now this is my favorite thing, we can leave the Earth, land on another body, maybe the moon, or a moon going around another planet, and then we can look back at the Earth. And that gives the audience the perspective of the Earth in the solar system. So how small it is. How, even from the moon, you can close one eye, stick up your thumb, and you cover the entire Earth. Everyone that's ever lived is under your thumb from that perspective. I have worked as a science educator and environmental educator for the last 13 years. I've seen tens of thousands of kids, and I know the power that this type of education can have in affecting kids' lives, helping them to choose maybe to be scientists or maybe to grow up and be a more scientifically literate citizen. Why would I want to do this in a developing country like Kenya? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, though, is one you might not think about. I believe that in the future, Kenya will be one of the best places on the planet for astronomy. Now, you have to forget what you think you know about the globe and just imagine a ball. As the Earth is turning, I've made these nice little lines here. It turns once a day. That's what makes it a day. If you're farther up, closer to the pole, you don't have a very big distance that you're turning in one day. However, as you get closer and closer and closer to the pole, you're traveling longer in a day. That means you're traveling more miles in the same amount of time. That means you're going faster. So if you want to launch a rocket, where are you going to put it? You're going to put it right on the equator, and your rocket is going to get a boost from the turning of the Earth. It's actually going to be going 1,000 miles an hour just from the speed of the Earth rotating at the equator. And guess where Kenya is? Right on the equator, right there. Also, Kenya has an eastern ocean, so if the rocket blows up for some reason, it's going to do it over the ocean and not over where it's populated. You look at where NASA has put their launch facilities, Florida and Texas, both as far south as they can go with an eastern ocean. Kenya would be an even more ideal location for rocket launching. Ground-based astronomy as well. If you're standing on the equator, you don't have any part of the Earth blocking your view of the entire sky. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you've got the Earth blocking view of southern stars, like say the Southern Cross. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you've got the Earth blocking your view of northern stars, say the Little Dipper. So on the equator, you get a view of the entire sky. It's the best place for launching rockets. So why aren't they doing it now? Well, the answer, as you could probably guess, is Kenya's suffering from a lot of poverty. There's really not the infrastructure and there's not the education to be able to do these high-tech jobs right now. The NomadDome taking a planetarium to Kenya is an investment toward that future. We are going to be taking the planetarium to schools all over Kenya and actually branching out of Kenya to all of East Africa to inspire kids to be interested in science, to pursue science education. Maybe some of them will grow up to be scientists and they're going to be the innovators who will come up with new ways to help people out of poverty. At least most of them are going to grow up and become more scientifically literate citizens and help direct their country in a better way. So those are big goals. But I think that an investment in helping to get a planetarium to Kenya is going to make huge long-term impacts. Your $1 toward this will go a lot farther than $1 toward most projects in an already developed country. Um, Now, I'm not going to be the primary educator there. I think it's best if it's done by Kenyans, and I have met a couple of Kenyans who are already doing astronomy education. Susan Marabuna on the site, you'll see a link to her talking about her work with Cosmos Education and Global Hands-on Universe. She's already traveling around to schools. There's another man, Chewy, who has purchased his own planetarium. Now, his is different. His is an analog planetarium. It's basically a light bulb with a lampshade thing that goes over it and that projects an image up on the dome. And he does a great job with that. So he already knows how to use a basic planetarium. The system that we're wanting to send, though, will be like the difference between a slide projector and a computer. It's really that much of a quantum leap in the tool that we're going to give these amazing people to use. To buy a digital planetarium system costs somewhere between $25,000 to $70,000. The Perot Museum of Nature and Science in Dallas, where I also work, has recently upgraded the planetarium systems, and they are very, very generously donating for free the planetarium system that we'll be taking to Kenya. The only thing that we need to do is raise enough money to get the planetarium system from Dallas to Nairobi. I'll spend a month training Chewy and Susan how to use the system, and any additional money after our tip over goes directly to that organization to take the planetarium out to as many schools as possible. The organization that they've started, by the way, I love the name. It's called the Amateur Astronomy Society of Kenya, or AASK. The planetarium shows that we do are live, question-based, inquiry-based presentations. People come up with their questions, and we use the planetarium as a way of exploring the questions that they have, solving these questions, and hopefully getting them inspired to ask even more questions. Thank you very, very much for your support.